Okay, we're going to open it up with Nick O'Malley, followed by Chris Ryan.
Hi, Devin. Coming into the season, there's a lot of excitement about, first game of the season. There's a lot of pageantry to it. But the day after the first game comes after the first film session. What's that first film session of the year like with Bill, especially after we could even tell from the press conference that Bill was not in his cheeriest of moods?
I don't know. I'm probably a guy that's been here too long. I don't really pay attention to that. I think it's the coaching point, the coaching aspect of it all. And I think that's what it was about. I'm sure he mentioned it is playing, better in situational football, not turning the ball over in penalties. So I think that was the big takeaway. And then obviously individually in our position groups, actually going through play by play on the execution part of it and fixing that. But whether it's the first game, I think that's why Bill's great. Whether it's the first game, whether it's midseason, like his consistency of the football aspect of it and what we need to do to get better. For me, is always what I try to hear and what I try to focus on.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next question, Chris Ryan, followed by Alex Barth.
Hey, Dev, hope all is well with you. Just from a film perspective, as you looked at it, what stood out to you outside of the situational football side of things? Do you like the way defense play? Did you see things kind of jumped out at you? What was
Your connection's pretty bad, but I think I got most of that. No, I mean, we did some things well. It wasn't one of those games where you're like, throw away the film. This was just a bad outing. Like, we did things well. But I think we all know, like, in this league, every team is going to do some things well. Like, they did some things well too. And it usually comes down to a couple situations in the red area. They got some stops from their defense. We didn't get any stops in the red area. Like, the situational part, we played well on third down, but then we didn't play well in the red area. And that was really kind of the difference in points for us and compared to points for them as a defense. So, of course, as you watch the film, we did some things well. We got after the quarterback. We did a decent job in the run game. But then there were some runs where, we gave up a good amount of yardage just because we weren't sound. So it's things like that. I think when you're a player and you go over the film, even though you did some things well, it's things like that really bother you because some of those things are preventable just by doing our job. So it's game one, we got time, but the sense of urgency in this league has to happen right away because you can't just start falling behind and losing games.
Next question, Alex Barth. And I'll ask anyone else to raise a hand if you have a question for Devin.
Hey, Devin. I'm just wondering, you've talked in the past about the importance of the in-game communication and you guys all talking on the sideline about what you're seeing and making adjustments off of that. Just with the new group yesterday, a lot of new faces. How did you feel that communication was?
It went decent. I think it's game one, so it's a lot of room for improvement. It's doing that game in and game out. Obviously, you kind of work on that a little bit in the preseason, but no one played a full game in the preseason, and it's not as many adjustments. So it's kind of the same thing over and over again in the preseason. So to me, that's something that we got to keep working on. We got some good practice in the preseason when we practiced against the Eagles and the Giants. So that was good work, but that's something I think in game wise, we just got to keep doing that, keep working on it, keep doing it even within practice when things go wrong on a play, of being able to talk to each other in between the play, or when we switch to the offensive period. That's something that we just got to keep doing because the more you play with guys, that's when that communication gets better and better.
Thanks.
Next, final question will be Nick O'Malley.
Devin, how after 3 years of playing with Jason, how weird was it having him on the opposite sideline again? You guys being broken up. Did the family have to go to the split jersey, half Miami, half New England?
My mom went split T-shirt. She said it's too hot to make a jersey for when she goes to Miami. And then Jay wasn't too happy. All of the family had on Patriots gear except his wife and my mom, so he wasn't too happy about that. But it was awkward, I think, because of the time we spent the last 3 years, and how much football we've talked over the last 3 years of, how we play things and how we do things. It kind of was in sync. It was, it was great. And, just watching them out there on the other side was different, but it was a lot of fun seeing them out there competing. But I'm happy I don't have to play against my twin brother every week. So I'm looking forward to getting ready to go against the Jets next week and try to get in the win column for the first time this year.
Thanks, Devin.
Looks like we'll squeeze in one final question. Matt Vitor.
Devin, do you guys have plans, you and Jason, for when this is done? Is there a business opportunity together? Is there some joint venture for Devin and Jason McCourty that you won't be rivals down the road? You'll be back doing something professionally together?
Yeah, I think so. We haven't fully decided that, but I think, once, even right now, everything we do off the field is together, sickle cell work and social justice work, all that stuff's together. So there's no doubt about it. When we're finished, we'll be doing something together. And, we even had the Double Trouble podcast and all of that. So double coverage, I should say, podcast. So we do a lot of things together. But hopefully the next time we're opponents that, come out with the win. I'm not a fan of him winning. So that's something I got to work on.
What's in the running for some of those possibilities? What are some of the things that you guys have talked about maybe in the early stages? What are some of the possibilities somewhere down the road?
I don't know. We can't let those things out, man. We gotta stay locked in. One day, once they get going, is a good time to talk about them. Appreciate that question, though, Matt.
Looking out for your business interests.
Thank you, Devin. Thanks, everyone.
You guys have a good one.
Thanks, Devin.